Hello, fellow traders. Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Monday, November the 28th. The year's 2022. Let's talk trading. Outside versus inside, part 3 with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and different from Walmal. Walmal, I've been talking to the traders about what's outside of them versus what's inside of them and how that affects their trading. What's your take?
Well, that's an interesting topic, it really gets back down. I know a lot of people say we're too heavy on psychology, but I'm sorry, but it's part of that three-legged stool that you talk about all the time, and whether we like it or not, we have to really look at ourselves and, look at the inside of us, as opposed to maybe the outside that we portray and put out there. And I think that both of them, for personal life, I think both of them are very, very important. And what I mean by that is that, imagine yourself as a soldier or a police officer or a fireman, this type of thing. You could be going into danger, literally running into danger. And your inside is just tore up. It's like, I am out of my mind to go and do this. Why am I running into the middle of a fire, middle of a building that's falling down? Oh, I'm doing it because there's a baby up there that I need to get out. And at the same time, you're doing that, and your outside's got to go and portend, absolute sheer confidence in what you're doing, so that the people around you who are going to help you and others that you're trying to help get out, they look at you and say, hey, it's time for, I can trust the situation. I'm going to get out of this situation. Look at him. Look at what he's doing. Look at that hero over there going and doing what needs to be done. And so, so in life, I think that it's something that, depending on what your job is, it could be extremely important, and we can go and turn back into business. If you're a salesperson, let's face it, they say that, that you're going to get rejected, 10 times for every time that you actually go and actually not get rejected. And not getting rejected doesn't even mean you get the sale. It just means you don't get flat out rejected right at the door.
Right.
So there's lots of failure there. But if you don't go and come with and at least put on the outside some type of confidence and show that confidence, you're not even gonna get to 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 11. You're gonna get to 1 out of a million.
Yeah.
So it's very, very important for life. But how does this all turn to trading? And the reality is with trading is that, you need to have the confidence in what you're doing and your system actually works. Otherwise, you're not going to take the trades, or, you're not going to get out of the trades when you're supposed to get out of trades, because inside you're having doubts about what you're doing. So to me, the inside is the most important thing. And, the goal is that the inside will then at that point go and affect maybe the outside, so that what's truly on the inside, if it's good and it's true, will actually go and shine on the outside.
Yeah, well, I was thinking more in terms of, inside is what you can control, and outside, there's very little things you can control. You can control where you put your stop loss, but whether or not any trade's going to be a winner, that's up to the market.
That's exactly right. I did not look at it when what you said. I didn't look at it that way. But
No, that's okay. There's more than one way of looking at it.
Yeah, but I can absolutely see it and agree with what you're saying. There are certain things you can go and you can control, but there are a lot of things that they're just beyond what you can do. There's nothing you do about it. You press the buy button. You've pressed the buy button. You can't unring the bell.
Well, you can exit. Well, you can exit the trade, but whether or not you exit with plus pips or minus pips, that's up to the market.
It's sort of like, there was one time in my trading life where I went and I looked at the charts and looked at what my method was, and I don't remember if it was a buy or a sell, but I just remember pressing the, let's say it was a buy, pressing the buy button, and, some type of external force went and hit it, and I went and took like a 25, 30 pip loss, all in a period of maybe 10, not even like 2-3 seconds, because I didn't even have the time to put my stop loss in, because of, the way I was doing it at the time. I just literally, used the one click, mechanism within MT4 to go and enter a trade. And then what I do is I then go and put my stop loss in, manually after that. That's generally how I do it. That's just my method. Good, bad, or indifferent. People out there probably tell me I'm a fool for doing it. That's okay. And I'll take that hit, because in this particular case, yeah, I took a big loss because of that. Why? I did everything right. Internally, I did everything right, but externally, market went against me. It did something nasty, and there was nothing I could do about it. It just, and luckily, I talk about this all the time, and that is that, your risk management is, it's multi-layered. It's where do you put your stop loss? But the second part of it, which is, I think, just as important, is, how much are you risking on a particular trade? How many lots are you putting on the line? If I had gone, let's say I had a $5,000 account, and I foolishly went and took a buy at, with 20 lots, and it went against me, you went against me, 30 lots. Well, that's a lot. That's a lot of pips to be losing on a small account like that. That's just, that'd be a huge hit, but, luckily for me, in my case, is that my second thing was that, I went and, I didn't go and have my lot size way up there where I couldn't go, and God forbid something happened. And then there's a third part of that you need to really keep in mind, is that, okay, and this is part of that inside out that I was, talking about a few minutes ago. And that is that you need to be able to control your inside to a certain extent, because you know what? Stuff happens. Stuff happens, and you need to be able to go and react to it and do what you need to do in that moment, and do it decisively. It's sort of like, what you need to do, go and do it. Don't be indecisive. Take the hit, take the loss. It's better to go and take a loss where you go and lose 20% of your account, let's say, as opposed for the chance that you may get and make it all up, as opposed to losing your entire account. I can make 20% up. I can't make 100% up if I don't have any money left to go and make it up with.
That's true.
So, that's to me, that's the important part of, I know I kind of turned the tables back to the way I think about it, but
that's okay.
But it's, but I think, but thinking about it in retrospect, I think, your take on it is really good. And I think it really folds in well with what I'm saying, because those external factors, man, those are the things that can kill you, just because, it's sort of like, if you look at this rundown on the 1 minute chart, and I've been saying, take the flip-flop box and wait for the third magenta dot, that would have put you in at 2090, and you could have easily, picked up, 30 pips on this rundown in a period of what, 7 minutes, a nice run there.
I know, too bad we were getting ready for the video, huh?
Exactly. But at the same time, you know what? It didn't have to do that. It could have done the exact same thing in the other direction. And if you're not controlling, the things that you can control, and I think that's the thing, that's so important, that we have to go and recognize and take ownership of. Yeah, you're right. Tiro, you're absolutely right. There are external forces that you can do nothing about, except for there are things that you can do. You can put things in place that you will execute. But the thing is, the psychology part of it is you can't be a deer in the headlights. You got to go and do what you got to do. You can't, and if you're the type of person that, for a fact that when things go bad, and things go in your direction and you freeze up, I'm going to be harsh and say, well, maybe this is not your game. Maybe there's something else that you need to be doing. you know, I know that's a tough thing to say or hear, but that's a reality. And you know, we hear about that 95% that fail in trading. You know, I'd be willing to bet that a good percentage of that 95% that fail in trading is not because of a bad method. It's not because of not going and doing what you're supposed to do in terms of risk reward. But I'd be willing to bet the vast majority of those folks are people who, you know, when things go against them, they freeze up and they don't know what to do, and they can't go and, you know, execute the plan that they've laid out. Now, the sad thing about it is most of those folks know what they're supposed to do, but they just can't do it, and they don't do it. You know, and from the other perspective is that, you know, let's say you were in this trading, you know, that we just talked about a minute or so ago with that big drop, and let's say you got in there and you caught that 30 pips, okay? Well, here and now it's starting to turn around against you. You know, and Tira, I know we talked about it on Friday, I think it was, you know, and I said, well, a possible exit for this trade would be that, you know, if you get that second magenta dot, get out, you know, and the problem is some people become so greedy, you know, they would not go and get out of that trade. And now, you know, and the thing is, you know, it could very easily go back down and continue that trend down. But, you know, there's no saying that it will. But if my rule says to get out, you know.
Right.
Because, you know what, making 25, 30 pips is not a bad day.
Not a bad day at all.
But the thing is, now that it's turned around, now we got a third magenta dot.
You mean aqua?
Aqua dot. Yeah, aqua dot. You know, and the reality is now I got a third one. Uh-oh. Now, you know, your brain starts saying, well, I really can't get out here. I really can't jeopardize all these pips. Oh, look, I got a black one-minute candle now. Maybe it's going to come back and go my direction. Well, maybe not. You know, I'd rather just go and take my pips.
Right.
So, I mean, that's for me anyway. That's kind of how I look at this, you know, inside, outside type of thing. You know, yeah, there are things that I can't control. You're absolutely right, sir. Things I can't control. But if I don't get my inside going and do it, and using my inside to go and build my inside up, so that my outside, you know, part of my personhood can go and do and execute what needs to be done, what's the point?
Right.
You know, and I think, you know, I know we don't have very much time, but I think my last point on this is this. I think that innately it's part of who you are, but I think that if you're on that borderline, or you think that you can learn, yeah, you probably can learn. And the thing, part of what you do is, you know, I love the training wheels type things that you put out there for methods. Well, you can do similar types of things like that with your trading in terms of protecting yourself. You know, the nice thing is you can put in stop losses. You can put in TPs. You know what? If you know you're the type of person that's going to have a difficult time pulling the trigger to get out of a trade, or to go and, you know, to get out of a trade because of either profit or loss, you know what? Set your trade up, put in your TP, put in your stop loss, and let the market do what you're going to do. And follow it and watch it, and maybe over time you can go and overcome that you know, that internal fear that's preventing you from doing what needs to be done.
Yeah, that's for true, because, you know, that's the inside, you know, fear, that's all for the most part, that's inside. That's how you are reacting to the outside world.
Yeah, you're exactly right, sir. You know, and, you know, we that fear always comes about, you know, from, you know, we just don't know how to go and deal with it, and we find ourselves in trouble, you know, because we don't react well to it. You know, we wind up, you know, making poor decisions, you know, as opposed to executing our plan. We write our plan out, we memorize our plan, it's written right in front of us on a screen or an index card, and yet we still don't do it.
Yeah. So, fellow traders, there's Walmal's take on the outside versus inside. How about you guys reply what your take is in the comments on the video? Because it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.